Cameroon, and Thailand, gaining experience and helping people in ways that really make a difference. Supporting AM 950 fosters conversation, awareness, and action in our communities. It's about shared values and believing that together we can make a difference. Visit marytinc.com to learn more about the work that we do.
Love doesn't automatically equal legal protection. Legal documents do. Even with marriage equality, your family may not be protected the way that you think. Who gets your kids if something happens? Will the hospital recognize your partner? And if they can't be there, is your best friend your healthcare backup? That all needs to be in writing. At Schroman Law, we're an all-women firm that sees, honors, and builds bulletproof protection around your family. SchromanLaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Today, sunshine with a high of 84, then tonight clear with a low of 62. There's something for everybody at Cafe Latte in St. Paul, from award-winning soup, salad, sandwiches, and desserts to treats from the bakery made fresh daily and a pizza and wine bar. Cafe Latte is located on the corner of Grand Avenue and Victoria Street. Check them out at cafelatte.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and we are broadcasting from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park, located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It is another beautiful day here in the Twin Cities, and I am so grateful to be here with you today. And I hope all of you listening are doing well. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to help you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in a few minutes will be Caitlin Collins, founder and CEO of Elda. She is sharing how offloading life's to-dos can give families more quality time together. Elda provides resourceful, tech-savvy personal assistance to help clients remain independent and reduce the stress of caregiving. You will enjoy listening to my conversation today with Caitlin Collins. I want to thank all of you that leave us messages on our radio show phone line. We appreciate hearing from you, and we welcome your comments, questions, and of course, topics for future shows. Also, if you are interested in being a guest on our radio show, please call or text us at 612-999-3426. You can also contact us on our website at livinghealthyradio.com. There you can find information about upcoming guests as well as listen to our previous shows, and we look forward to hearing from you. We are adding new listeners to the show each week, not only here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, but also throughout the country. You can find podcasts for all of our radio shows on the AM 950 radio website, and we can also be found on your favorite streaming service, including YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many, many others. And you can also watch our broadcast live on YouTube or on the radio station's Facebook page at AM 950 Radio. If you have a question for us today, there's two ways to reach us. First, by calling the AM 950 radio station, and our friendly show producer, Patrick, will get your call on the air. Our phone number is 952-946-6205, or you can directly text us your questions at 612-999-3426. Now, don't worry if you missed our contact numbers. I'll repeat them throughout the show. All right. I want to welcome my guest for today's show, Caitlin Collins, founder and CEO of Elda. Welcome to the show, Caitlin.
Thanks so much for having me, Ken.
This is going to be great. Well, first of all, give us a little bit about your background, and then we'll talk about Elda. But the audience loves to learn about you and kind of what brought you to the point of Elda.
Yeah, so I had been working as a software engineer for about 10 years, liked that work, but was looking for something more purposeful. Um, and as I was actively searching for what I could do that would just have be more in line with my own core values and the things that felt like they brought meaning to life, my grandmother fell and broke her hip. So I'm from Alabama. I've lived in Minnesota for 14 years, but all my family's back there. And so, because my life was really flexible, I was able to go down there for 3 weeks. And being there in person really brought to light how much of an invisible burden my mom had been carrying. So, my family, they have houses all close to one another. My dad's mom, my mom's mom, and my parents were all nearby one another on the same area. And technically, my grandmothers were both living independently, able to drive locally, but there was just so much my mom was doing behind the scenes that I don't think anybody was realizing. And she also worked full time in a very stressful job as an emergency room nurse practitioner
Oh, wow.
in a rural hospital. So she was just doing so much. And so when my grandmother fell and broke her hip, it's like this house of cards that mom had built up just kind of came falling down. And so I helped in person, but then I would have to come back to Minnesota and those systems, would fall. And what she needed was somebody in person, not to just hand tasks to, but hand a problem to. Because, as my one grandmother was in rehab and trying to get over that fall, my other grandmother, had issues where her debit card was stolen. And, of course, somebody's dog's going to get sick in all of this. And so it was really a struggle. And so that's what I thought, wow, if I could do this for other families, if I could help other families like this, what a rewarding way to spend your life. And so I spent time interviewing as many caregivers as I could. And that's how I ended up on the idea of Elda, and it's been a great journey so far.
Yeah. How long have you been doing Elda?
I started with my first client in October 2025, so not quite
Okay.
a year.
Almost a year. Wow, fantastic. Okay, so you need to tell us a story about naming your business Elda.
Yes. So first of all, naming a business is so hard. It's
No, people that come on the show, that's one of the things they all have in common. What do I call this endeavor that I'm embarking on?
Totally. And I am, so I'm the oldest daughter in my family. My mom is the oldest daughter. Both my grandmothers were the oldest daughter. And there's this role in the family that we felt that we filled as like this problem solver. It's not that we were ever an expert at anything, but we were always resourceful, kind of type A little bit, but just had this and really emotionally connected to everybody in the family. So my mom was the person everybody called on. I call her the air traffic controller of our family. And so ELDA stands for eldest daughters, kind of comes from that. And it's this idea that could a family extend their own situation by adding in an extra eldest daughter to come in and help the family with some of those life to-dos so that they can stop worrying about logistics and get back to connections.
It's interesting. I'm in the elder care world with our hospice organization, and it's interesting how the females of the families tend to step up,
Mm.
and especially the firstborns. It's so interesting how, as you just kind of look across all the families, we've served thousands of families over the years, and it is interesting just the dynamics that just tend to be kind of consistent within organization or with families as we talk to them about help and who's the go-to person here, who's the POA, and a lot of times it's that firstborn or it's the daughter
It
that
is.
jumps in there, which is, again, you guys are amazing. You can juggle so many things, and again, your example of your mother having a very stressful career, very demanding career, and yet still jumping in and helping out.
Yeah, and I think that eldest daughter, I have a friend who calls himself a YOSO, youngest son, but he still fills that role in his
Sure,
family. So of
sure.
course it isn't just eldest
Right.
daughters, but often it is women who that role is sometimes expected of because of family dynamics. And so what I see in my work when I'm working with family caregivers, often adult children or spouses, but adult children especially, they're juggling their career. They have children. They have all of these life responsibilities, and they're just racked with guilt that they're not doing enough for their parent. And there can be real challenges, like financial challenges around that, of course, like out-of-pocket expenses for them, career sacrifice, and I think caregiving for our family members. We aren't always doing a good job as a society taking care of helping support people with childcare, but we're definitely not doing it in helping families support aging parents and providing that infrastructure for it. And so, yes, those eldest daughters, I am one. I definitely identify with them, but I also identify with the people that are just eldest daughters in spirit.
Yeah, yeah. It's and what's interesting is we've had the Minnesota Department of Demographics on the show here, and for the first time in recorded history, there's more people living age 65 and older than there are 18 and younger.
Mm.
It's amazing how the disparity is shifting on the demographic bell curve, and it's a problem that's only going to get worse over the next 5 to 10 years. So everybody needs help.
Mm.
And one of the biggest cohorts of the listening audience is the sandwich generation. It's adult children taking care of their children, but also taking care of their parents. But the juggling act that I hear as I talk to people in those scenarios, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's very, very stressful. And that's one of the reasons why I was looking forward to having you on the show, is that you're another option, another relief valve for families to help support all the things you have going on. I mean, a lot of my colleagues that I work with, they say, "Oh, the technology is so frustrating." But if I give it to my 9-year-old or my 13-year-old, they can figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, but not everybody has a 9-year-old or a 13-year-old who wants to take the time to figure it out, or if they even have them around. So your kind of the focus that you have is very interesting, and we'll talk more about that during the show here. But it's an absolute ongoing need. The last figure we heard was that there's 600,000 Minnesotans that are unpaid helping a friend or a family member, whether it's elder, disability, whatever. It is over 10% of the Minnesotans are helping other people just to try to get by. So it's like I said, it's a crisis, and it's only going to get worse from according to the state demographer's office. So yeah, we'll talk more about how your vision for helping others can really make a difference, and we'll get into those details here after the break. All right, it's time for a short break, folks. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Caitlin Collins, founder and CEO of Elda, 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 and she is sharing how offloading life's to-dos can give families more quality time together. And Elda provides resourceful, tech-savvy personal assistance to help clients remain independent and reduce the stress of caregiving. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Programming is supported in part by Health Partners. If you're age 65 plus and qualify for medical assistance, you may also qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. This all-in-one plan bundles Medicare, medical assistance, prescription drug coverage, and dental coverage into one simple $0 premium plan that also includes $0 medical copays. In addition to saving money, you can get lots of extra benefits and perks, like a dedicated care coordinator, up to $400 each year in rewards for preventative screenings, transportation, a fitness club membership, and more. This can help you live safely and healthy and independently. If you're a senior on a budget, transportation assistance can be huge. Plus, who couldn't use an extra $400 these days? Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Summer is going fast, but Next Chapter Booksellers has everything you need to keep up with your summer reading. From the hottest new titles to timeless classics, Next Chapter Booksellers has something for any taste. Their friendly staff are great at making recommendations for the perfect summer read for you or your loved ones. Plus, Next Chapter Booksellers has a wide variety of puzzles and games for those rainy days. So keep up with your summer reading at Next Chapter Booksellers off Snelling and Grand in St. Paul, More at nextchapterbooksellers.com.
Hey, everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
All right, everyone, welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Caitlin Collins, founder and CEO of Elda. And she is sharing how offloading life's to-dos can give families more quality time together. And Elda provides resourceful, tech-savvy personal assistance to help clients remain independent and reduce the stress of caregiving. Caitlin, how can our listeners contact you if they have questions or want more information?
Well, they can check out our website. So that's eldahelps.com. So ELDA helps.com. Or you can always give me a call. So our phone number is 612-208-6892. And there's also a contact form on our website.
All right, fantastic. And the website is very helpful in trying to explain what Elda does. And we're going to talk about that here in this segment, is all the different services that you guys can offer to people that are, again, looking for help. And sometimes it's not a major project, could be, but a lot of times it's just these little things that just hang out there and never get done because
Totally.
they forgot their password or just anything. And because I know from personal experience, you're working with your parents and they just, sometimes things don't work,
Mm-hmm.
and they just don't necessarily have the experience to know or the persistence to sit online for an hour and try to get an answer from a help desk.
Listen, as kids, if I'm just talking to the adult kids for a second, we underestimate our tech expertise so much because if you're born after 1980, you're a digital native. So you grew up with this technology. You learned it in school. You had to use it for work. And if you had any sort of white collar job in the 90s or later, you were in front of that computer all the time. And so we don't understand, what seems really obvious to us sometimes, like the outline. So that the shopping cart is always going to be in the top right on a website. That's a pattern we've accidentally learned. And so for people who haven't spent that much time online and doing these sorts of things, sometimes our grandparents or our parents, it can be really easy to get frustrated with them, but it's not really fair because we've built up this expertise. So experts do this all the time. You just assume everybody knows what you know. Oh, but that's not true. We have all this expertise that pat yourself on the back for it, but also give some grace. Now, I say it's always easier to do that with someone else's parents sometimes than somebody else's family members,
Right.
so that can make a difference.
Well, and as I learn about your business model, I think that's a very important part. Sometimes hearing something from your own child is different than actually hearing from a third party, or just
Oh, yes.
navigating through conversation. I mean, we see that in hospice. I mean, it's amazing that the children are saying something, but it's nice having someone coming in, a social worker, chaplain, nurse, somebody else saying the same thing, and they go, "Oh, That's a good idea.
Yeah,
And
that buffer.
right. And the kids go, I've been saying that for years.
I was talking to a caregiver early on, and she summarized what I do in a really interesting way. She said, "Oh, you handle all the logistics so that we can get back to the emotional part." She had a family member that, had needed to go into long-term care um, in a community, but it was really struggling. And every single conversation they had on every visit was logistics. It was about, well, what are the nurses doing? What is this? Oh, we need to fill out this paperwork for Social Security. Oh, we need to do this thing. And I heard that from her, and I've heard it from so many other caregivers. I've heard phrases like, I miss my friendship with my mom. She's still here, but every time I visit, it's a honey-do list or a phone call. And then I've heard from the other side where it's the mom who's feeling really guilty. She knows that her adult child is really busy. It's got this busy life with children and everything. And so she is not getting the help she needs because she's having to kind of she feels like she's a bother, and the child feels good. I mean, it's hard on families. It really is hard.
Right, right. Want to be able to have somebody who they can trust
Yes,
and say, no, let Caitlin work on that. Let her take care of that. Because again, you're doing this for families all the time. So you've developed an expertise in how to navigate through
totally.
forms and
Well,
technology.
yes, and like just this past week, so I have a client who I'm working with the adult daughter who's a busy business owner, and then her mom who's still living in her own home but needs help with projects really. And so with my clients, it's whatever's on their to-do list, that's what we do. So in the morning we were working through some financial paperwork. Then we met for 2 hours total. So we did some financial paperwork first. Then we needed to find a bunch of documentation in her email. She and her daughter would have butted heads trying to do that together, but with me, we did it pretty together. And then she wanted her patio set up, and so we assembled a patio umbrella. Then we disassembled the patio umbrella, and then we dragged it out to the curb and I posted it on Facebook Marketplace. I got it, for free, curb alert. But those are 3 things that her daughter doesn't have to do now. And so when they hang out, they can go to brunch. They don't need to worry about these things. And her mom can now enjoy her patio that she hasn't actually gotten to set up all summer. Now it's there and it's ready for hopefully cooler days. We'll see if we get them.
Well, just knowing there's someone to contact, I think takes stress off people.
Mm.
I think one of the common themes that people share with me that are on the show with me over the last 8 years is they just see so much stress in the workplace, in families and social. It's so much stress because people are trying to juggle so many things.
Mhm.
And there's not an outlet. There's not a pressure relief valve that they can do, and that's really what I see you doing.
That's the goal.
Again, I think the fact that you're young, you're obviously very intelligent, and you kind of navigate through a lot of things, and you have a great personality. So again, people should just reach out and just connect and say, "Hey, is this something? Here's my situation. Can you help me with this?"
Sure.
And it's interesting. We can talk more about this as well. Is that you can help set up the patio furniture,
Mhm.
but you're not a home care service either, though. So that's a different area of help. Very complementary to what you do, but it's different.
Perfectly
Though.
complimentary. Yeah. So Elda, so it's professional or personal assistance for tech and admin help and just overall life to-dos. But we don't do any care of the person or care of the home. We also, I think home care agencies, there's several that I work with that I just think are incredible
Yes.
and that I refer my clients to all the time. You build up those relationships. And when you work in
Yes.
this industry, oh, I want my clients to go this. I know these companies will take great care of them. But for social companionship, all of those pieces, those home care companies, that's what they specialize in. That's what they're great at. And when people are working with home care, often they'll have questions about their iPhone or their iPad, and those caregivers can help. They can help with those things. But sometimes the issues are broader and bigger. So I have a client who I was giving a presentation at an assisted living community, and the topic was, we'll get back to this, I guess, after the break.
Yeah, go ahead.
The topic was on helping people make the most of their phones and
sure.
control subscriptions. And we helped her save a lot of money, which we'll talk about.
All right. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Caitlin Collins, founder and CEO of Elda. If you have a question for Caitlin, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts.
So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Too often, political news focuses on what's happening in Washington, D.C. But from redistricting to reproductive rights, what matters most to your life happens at the state level. And when no one's closely watching the state, bad stuff happens. That's why Heartland Signal offers Radio Free America, a free weekly newsletter from me, Aaron Kleinman. Sign up at heartlandsignal.com/newsletter. I spent 7 years helping the most successful state-level political group navigate elections across the country. Now I want to help you understand what's going on in your state. And I'll also have some funny stuff in there too, like Weird Al on Howard Stern. Because, let's face it, we could all use a laugh. So sign up for our free newsletter, Radio Free America. We never share or sell your email address, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Sign up now at heartlandsignal.com/newsletter.
Big Hill Books, the happiest bookstore in Minneapolis, is still well worth the trip. With the arrival of springtime, construction season is here, including a major MnDOT project at I-394 and Penn Avenue. Follow the well-marked detour signs and enjoy a few extra minutes through the idyllic Bryn Mawr neighborhood. You'll find us at 405 Penn Avenue South. Plan your visit at bighillbooks.com. Big Hill Books. Read, think, grow.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. I know no one wants to talk about this, but summer is going to be winding down already, and we're all going to be rushing to make the most of the month before State Fair time arrives. While we're trying to cram in as much of that final summer fun as we can, don't forget to stop and smell the flowers. But if you realize what you actually smell is the carpet, you gotta call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to freshen up the late summer feeling. Zero Res can take care of almost any surface in your home: carpet, tile, rugs, hardwood, upholstery, and much more. If it's been months since your last deep clean, it's time to call. Zero Res is marking the end of summer with this amazing sale. Buy 2 rooms of carpet cleaning and get 2 rooms of carpet for free, plus 20% off all air duct cleaning services. Call 952-ZERO-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res. With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Today, sunshine with a high of 84, then tonight clear with a low of 62. There's something for everybody at Cafe Latte in St. Paul, from award-winning soup, salad, sandwiches, and desserts to treats from the bakery made fresh daily and a pizza and wine bar. Cafe Latte is located on the corner of Grand Avenue and Victoria Street. Check them out at cafelatte.com.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Caitlin Collins, founder and CEO of Elda. And her mission is to do what I want to do on the radio show here, which is to help improve your quality of life and your loved ones' quality of life. She is here sharing how offloading life's to-dos can give families more quality time together. And Elda provides resourceful, tech-savvy, personal assistance to help clients remain independent and reduce the stress of caregiving. Before we return to our conversation with Caitlin, I want to mention this radio show is brought to you in part each week by Minnesota Hospice. Minnesota Hospice is an independent, locally owned medical practice serving our Twin Cities communities with comprehensive end-of-life health care. The team at Minnesota Hospice provides patients and family members with award-winning end-of-life healthcare services. You may not be aware that hospice brings compassionate medical, social, emotional, and spiritual services to your home with typically no cost to you or your family. Please do not wait to learn how hospice care can benefit you and your loved ones. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. They are available to answer your questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by a registered nurse. Their phone number is 952-898-1022, or visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. Okay, let's return to our conversation with Caitlin. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Caitlin, how can our listeners contact you if they have questions or want more information?
Yes, they can give us a call at 612-208-6892. And they can also visit our website. So that's Elda, ELDA, helps.com. And on the website, you can find a contact form and also a link to just schedule a consultation if you like to do that. But phone is always great too.
Yeah. So the consultations, is that done by phone, by video, conferencing, in person? What are your options available for that?
Yeah. So my first choice is always in person if we can do it. But sometimes people are really tight on time,
Right.
or there's something that they need help with really quickly. Or sometimes there's situations where that adult child or other family member is out of town. They're out of state, and maybe the person that they're wanting some hands-on assistance for is here in the Twin Cities. And so in those cases, I can do phone, I can do video, all of those. But it's really special to just meet people first, and they get to know me, I get to know them, before they decide if they want to move forward with working together.
Yeah. Well, I just, again, I go back to my point earlier. Life is so stressful. In fact, at Minnesota Hospice, we focus so much on work-life balance. In order to be good at what you do, you got to have balance. And, you can be just a great benefit to, again, working moms, working families. Again, that sandwich generation is taking care of parents, sometimes grandparents, and they've got children as well. So it's almost like, how in the world do you do it? I think people get to the end of the week and they're just exhausted and they go, oh my gosh, how do I recover to do it again next week? And again, working with services like yours is a great option. So I know I'm getting texts here saying, oh my gosh, how much does it cost and how does it go? Would you be willing to share with us just how you can price out your services? And I see you've got packages as well. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So our services are really transparent with all of our pricing. So it's $60 an hour for our assistants. If we are helping in person, it's a 2-hour minimum just to cover travel here in the Twin Cities Metro. But we have some clients that we do help with remotely as well. So we can do video call support or over the phone. And then in that, it's that same hourly rate of $60 an hour, but we just charge in 15-minute increments. So I had a client who she is the primary care partner for her husband who has early stage Alzheimer's. And her plate is very full. Anybody who's a caregiver for a spouse definitely knows that. And so they were headed up to the cabin and she said, it's his happy place. He absolutely loves it. It's so great, but I hate it because I hate cleaning it, and she said, it's just a small town. And here in the Twin Cities, she has somebody who can come in every couple of weeks and help with house cleaning, but she didn't have that there. And so I said, well, have you ever thought about hiring a housekeeper there? And she said, oh, I don't think we'll be able to find one. And that is the thing with Elda. It's like we're just resourceful. And
Right.
so I said, well, would you like me to try? And she said, yeah, take 30 minutes, see if you can find somebody. And with 30 minutes of research, I lined up a house cleaning service, and she texted me after the first time they came through. She said, "There's no dust in my whole cabin." In the whole cabin, and you know how cabins can get after overwintering. There's dust everywhere; it gets in through the windows, and so that's the kind of or doctor's appointment scheduling. Or I helped a client research a new desktop computer because hers died. She's not comfortable with laptops. That wasn't what she wanted, so I did that research, gave her the links so that she could then go into Best Buy, touch and feel things, but she wasn't overwhelmed when she went in that store. So in person and remote can both be helpful.
That's a great point. I think for many people, just the vastness of the choices inhibits
Oh,
them
yes.
from making a
Me
decision.
too,
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, no, for sure. And again, there's a sense of buyer's remorse. You just don't want to make a decision, a knee-jerk decision. You go, oh, that's not what I wanted. I didn't think this through. Now I got to return it. It's just a lot of effort. So I think people just end up not doing anything, and that's not the right solution necessarily all the time
Well,
either.
it can be so easy to delay on these things. We always think we have time for whatever it is, and and two, just life gets in the way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so you've got an hourly rate for in person. You've got a essentially an hourly rate for remote,
That's right.
and then you've also got some packages, different packages that if people want to just kind of commit to you on a scheduled basis, you've got those
Yes.
options as well.
Yeah, so for clients that work with us for longer periods in a month, so 4 hours, starting at 4 hours a month or up to 12 hours a month. We have some clients that do more than that. But what we do is we just give them a discount on that hourly rate. And so we have packages. And then also when clients are a partner with us like that and they're working with us every month, multiple visits, there's a lot that happens behind the scenes for support. So one thing, so I mentioned that I was a software engineer before I started this company. I specifically worked in cybersecurity. And so the whole area of scam protection for seniors is something I'm really passionate about. And so my clients, if they get a sketchy email or a weird text message or something that just doesn't feel quite right, they call me or they forward that to me. And that's just an easy add-on when we build those strong relationships.
Mhm. Well, I think the other thing we talked about on break is that it's just really important and helpful for people to have something to look forward to.
Mm.
And I've seen it in my personal life. I've seen it in all kinds of families, whether it's our nurse going to visit or our aide going to help out or a social work for counseling or a spiritual care. We have all these wonderful services in hospice, and it's amazing how important having something to look forward to, someone coming to take care of them or to check on how their well-being is, or to talk about whatever they want to talk about. Again, it can be emotional, it can be spiritual, whatever, but it's just having someone to look forward to. I think sometimes the adult children forget just how much their parents or a senior looks forward to something that's in the future.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, because otherwise it's the days roll on and it's nothing changes. And I think just even the fact that you can be there to help solve problems, which is huge in quality of life, but just that there's always someone going to be there too. And you just are a very personable person. So I can see how people really get connected to you. And then again, life is a endless stream of to-dos.
Mm.
So it's and again, for the rate that you're charging, from what I understand, and just whether it's house cleaning or other different services,
Mm.
I mean, it's very, very reasonable from what you're charging.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, caregiving. So it came out pretty recently. Some stories that at least it hit my news feed quite a lot was that there's this, the daughter tax. And so this is this idea that daughters have on average a loss of $300,000 of income over their life because of the career sacrifices that they'll make to caregive for other people. And so for me with Elda, like obviously I need to make a living. And I unfortunately insurance and Medicare, they don't provide the support for caregivers like this that are needed. So I'm not able to bill insurance. But it's really important to me that I keep these services affordable to a rate that I can, employ good quality staff members, but also to try and keep this affordable for families, so that we're not adding more of a burden on them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think people just sometimes feel like, well, I can do it myself. There's a certain, maybe like it's a Minnesota type
Mm.
culture that, well, I'll do it myself. And rather than just giving someone like you a chance to help out, just even for a couple hours a week or every 2 weeks, just to get the things off your plate. It's amazing how much of a subconscious burden
Mm.
the loose ends are in life then you're there to tie the loose ends up.
Well, they are. And my clients are fiercely independent. I would say the majority of them are. So I had one of my very first clients was a grandmother in her 90s. She had just had to give up her car. And what that meant for her was such a change in how she interacted with services, right? Because we're so reliant on our cars. And so she knew how to navigate her entire life with that car. But without it, things became much more restricted. And so it was around Christmas time. She was also the primary caregiver for her husband who had memory loss. And it was, I think it was like December 18th or something. And she called me and she said, I need help getting Christmas presents for everybody. How do I do that? And her first question was, how do I forward a text message? And I said, okay. So her son had laid out, this grandchild likes this grandchild like this. She forwarded the text to me. And in it, he clearly said, I'll help you buy the gifts, Mom. Like, I'll do this. But she didn't want that. She wanted to do it herself. And with me, she is doing it herself. I am there to take direction from her. Right. So she told me, can you find gifts that, this one likes yoga pants. This one is getting a golden retriever in February. This one, this whole list. And so in about 45 minutes, I had gift links for her to 7 people. She checked them all out. She said, yes, this is what I want. And then she said, okay, but I want to buy them myself. And I thought, okay, and she was incredibly capable, very, very sharp. But her challenge was she didn't know how to navigate online purchasing. She'd never done that before. Sure. So we tried to do it over the phone. That was kind of a mess. So I taught her how to screen share on her iPad, and she was cooking with gas. And she ended up, we did 9 or 10 of those purchases together. And then it got kind of late. And she said, do you think I could do the last ones by myself? And she did. The next morning she got up and she did 4 of those together all by herself. And she felt great. I felt great. And she stayed independent. She maintained that agency. And that's what's so important.
You know what? You're honoring their independence.
Yes.
And that is so cool. All right. It's time for a short break, folks. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Caitlin Collins, founder and CEO of Elda. And she's here sharing how offloading life's to-dos can give families more quality time together. Elda provides resourceful, tech-savvy personal assistants to help clients remain independent and reduce the stress of caregiving. If you have a question for Caitlin, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hi, I'm Mary T. Caring for others runs deep in my family. My grandmother, Rosa, was a nurse who cared for people in their homes more than a century ago. Inspired by her compassion, my mother, Margaret, and I founded the Mary T. family of companies nearly 50 years ago. Today, we continue that legacy across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Maryland, and Arizona, providing senior living, assisted living with memory care, home health, hospice care, rental housing, and support for people with disabilities. Each service is personal, creative, and focuses on the unique needs of those we serve. We also believe in joy and community, which is why we opened Crooner Supper Club in Fridley, a place to celebrate life with music, laughter, and connection. At Mary T., we're proud to be a Minnesota family company rooted in compassion, inclusion, and respect, and proud supporters of AM 950 and the values that this station represents. Visit MaryTinc.com to learn more.
Congratulations to Mary T, named one of the most admired CEOs of 2026 by the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts.
So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
August means the beginning of football season, and Popped Corn in Minnetonka has you ready to go with their flavor of the month, beer cheese pretzel popcorn. It's Popped Corn's delicious cheesy popcorn made with real cheese, salty good pretzel pieces, all covered in a beer cheese seasoning. The perfect snack for your pro and college preseason ramp-up. And get your popcorn in a tin featuring sports and military logos in either 1 or 3 gallon sizes. Visit Popcorn Store in Minnetonka or order online to ship their amazing popcorn across the USA. Go to poppedcorn.com. That's popcorn.com.
Hi, this is Chad from AM 950. I've been telling you about Snap Construction, the company AM950 Trust for all roofing and siding needs. Now that spring is here and summer is around the corner, now is a great time to find out why AM950 trusts Snap Construction. Ryan, the owner, and his team at Snap Construction have been great to work with, and they have enjoyed working with our listeners.
Hi, this is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. We've absolutely loved working with the listeners at AM 950. What a great group of people and a great radio station. I personally want to thank all the listeners that we've had the opportunity to work with. At Snap Construction, we look forward to working with many more of you when it comes to your roofing, siding, windows, and insulation. Don't just take Chad's word for it. Google Snap Construction, arguably the most well-reviewed roofing, siding, window, and insulation contractor in the Twin Cities metro. We led this community with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Don't wait to get a free estimate. Call today, 612-333-SNAP, 612-333-SNAP, or visit us online, snapconstruction.com.
All right, we are back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Caitlin Collins, founder and CEO of Elda, ELDA, and she's here sharing how really having this additional help in your life can make such a difference, even if it's just a few hours a week or even a few hours a month, can make a huge difference in families' quality of life. And Elda provides resourceful, tech-savvy personal assistance to help clients remain independent and reduce the stress of caregiving. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Caitlin, how can our listeners contact you if they have questions or want more information?
Yes, they can give us a call at 612-208-6892 or check out our website, eldahelps.com. There's a link there to schedule a consultation if you'd like to, and then also a contact us form you can fill out.
Fantastic. And I encourage people, just reach out to Caitlin. We were talking off the air. She does so many more things than tech savvy, or just the example of helping someone buy Christmas gifts. I see this so much in our line of business in hospice, where people start to have some limitations and they just can't do the things they used to do, and they're just always looking for help to again still be engaged with, like, buying Christmas gifts for their loved ones or other things that, as they age, it's really hard to then get those things accomplished when they used to be able to have a car.
Totally.
And all of a sudden, like she's in her 90s and really was not able to continue to drive, but you still honored her independence by helping her do and make decisions, but with your help. Almost like an executive assistant.
Yes, it is like an executive assistant.
Which again is a really unique field that you are really creating. So let's talk about the little differences. What makes your help for people different than what maybe they're thinking of other type of services? You don't clean houses, you're not housekeeping, you're not caregiving. You're really providing admin support for all kinds of everything else.
Yes, it's an extension of what often we think of like an oldest child an adult child filling in gaps for a parent. So it's all the kind of stuff that you might text somebody else to kind of handle for you. So it is lots and lots of little tasks, and every single client's the same, but the just uniting feature is that we take direction from what that family needs. So sometimes I have a client who, I'd started talking about this earlier, but I did a presentation on scams and subscriptions, and she said, how do you cancel subscriptions when you get into them? I told her how to do that. She called me after the presentation and said, I canceled that one, but I have more. She had $300 a month in really unscrupulous subscriptions. These are really predatory on people. They're hard to cancel. They're just terrible. But so that's what she needed. I have another client I have actually several clients that are care partners for a spouse living with dementia. And sometimes they just somebody needed their credit reports unfrozen, or they need me to sit with them on customer service with the Social Security Administration to get a replacement 1099. And then somebody else needs help taking all the pictures that they've taken over the years and getting those condensed down into a digital frame so that they can use it.
That's a huge thing. A lot of people want that because they have a box full of photos,
Yes.
analog photos.
And to ask an adult child who's working and doing all of this, it's just not going to happen. But with me, like, and it's just so fun. We're like, they're telling me stories as we're going through things. And then we've put together even like gifts that then they can give to their family members, memory books, photo albums. There's just, the internet is full of cool things.
Right.
It's a lot of fun.
Right. Well, and the fact that you are, again, engaged in all these things, using the internet and technology, you know what works, what doesn't work. And I think what's nice is that people have the confidence in you to say, yeah, why don't you work on that project? I think there's so many projects, if people were to just take a moment and write them down, say, what is weighing on my mind on things that I want to do? And eventually you won't do them. And then what happens is it becomes too late to do them. And I'm thinking, write that list down, give Caitlin a call, and she'll tell you what you can do, what she can do for you in those things, and really open your mind to just all kinds of great things. Again, I was really curious about, you were doing research for people. I mean, you really are kind of like a research assistant.
Yes.
You go find me a house cleaning service for the cabin. I mean, just people go, if I could just have help in that area. And you did it.
Yeah, or I had a client who, after I started working with her, she didn't have family support. It was just her. And I found out that she didn't have a primary care physician. And she had moved to Minnesota. She had been here for a year, and she was just stitching together urgent care visits, but she had some chronic conditions. And so what we did was contact her insurance company. She had a Medicare Advantage plan. We found out who was in network for her. We looked at them. She was very particular, so she wanted to check their background. How long had they been practicing? I mean, she had the thing that when I work with clients is like, we do it their way. So she knew what she wanted. And so, but she needed somebody who could help her do that navigation, and then the calendar coordination of getting those appointments scheduled. So yes, that's what sometimes it looks like.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. We've only got a couple of minutes here. So who generally are your clients or customers? Who are you working with the adult children? Are you working directly with the senior, or, how are you navigating through who is really your best client?
Yeah. So caregivers. So often that looks like an adult child who, mom and dad are living independently. They don't need, physical care, but those adult kids are helping with a lot of they are being executive assistants in some ways. But then also I found it super rewarding to work with spouses where one person has a chronic illness that's made them less able to do things they used to do before, because that can cause tension in the spousal relationship. We call it the primary relationship. So either the parent-child or the spouses. So it can cause tension in that primary relationship, because as one client told me, she said, I don't want my husband in my pocket all the time. I want to do this stuff. And so working with caregivers to give them back the emotional part of that relationship and take the stressful logistical stuff out so that they go to lunch together, or they get to go on a walk. Or one of my clients told me, she said, every hour that I spend doing this stuff is an hour I'm not holding hands with my husband.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you become the buffer in life. You are the buffer. You're the grease that makes everything go around. All right. It's great having you on the show here.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. I want to thank Caitlin Collins, founder and CEO of Elda, for being here today and sharing how offloading life's to-dos can give families more quality time together. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please contact us with any questions or comments you have regarding today's conversation. You can reach us anytime by voice or text at 612-999-3426. Caitlin, how can people get a hold of you if they have more questions?
They can give me a call, 612-208-6892, or check out our website, eldahelps.com.
Join us again next Saturday at noon for another broadcast. And thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. Until next time, choose to live well.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. I know no one wants to talk about this, but